time to kick ass and chew bubble gum. And I'm all out of gum.
Hello, welcome back to A Boring Revolution, your number one news source for everything in regards to The Boring Company. Welcome back to another episode. Yes, it has been a little while, but we are back. So, what are we going to talk about today? A very important topic. I think this is very important. I think about this a lot. I think this is critical to the success of The Boring Company. Needs a bit of a rethink. Need to take a bit more of an inventive look about how this problem can be resolved. What are the options? So, A-EVs, Tesla and the 4680 cell. Now, after Battery Day, essentially the landscape has changed. There are opportunities out there now, big opportunities. That technology is there. That technology needs to be used. The Boring Company has access. Let's get access to that technology. Let's utilize that in our system. But this is the kicker. Why does the Boring Company still, after all the reveals, all the tweets from Elon Musk, the event in Las Vegas, and coming up to the completion of the Las Vegas project, why is there no vehicle? Why is there no prototypes? Why is the Boring Company just taking the easy option? The easy option is never going to be the best option. And the easy option at the moment is that we're going to just utilize Tesla's current vehicles as they come out of the factory, not even with any major modifications. And in my personal opinion, that is not the way to go. I don't like that. It doesn't feel like the right option. Like they've sat down and really critically thought about where they want to go with this company. If they're just settling with Model 3s and the Model X. Don't get me wrong, both vehicles are excellent. They're excellent commuter vehicles, but they are not mass transit vehicles. I think the Model X is absolutely amazing. I remember the first time I sat at one when I was at work, and we had a conference on, and one was in the conference centre, and I got to have a look at it first thing in the morning, and I couldn't get my head around how amazing this thing was. The doors were, it's just something like out of a science fiction movie, but it's not a mass transit vehicle. So let's get back on this. So at the moment, Tesla, in my mind, is still almost, and it definitely still operates like a startup. It's constantly trying to change, innovate, and most importantly, evolve. That evolution process is constant. It's daily, if not hourly, at Tesla. They're constantly trying to change everything and everyone that works at the company. And that's an amazing thing. That kind of dynamic energy that we're seeing from Tesla is just phenomenal. It's amazing to watch. But they've focused big time on the semi-truck, the Roadster, and the Cybertruck at the moment. That is where all the energy is going, because all the energy was on the Model Y. The Model Y is kind of gone into production. What a massive success that has been. Every part of that vehicle is very, very well thought through, very well built. It is, I think, the most perfect vehicle that you can buy for under £40,000 or under $50,000, whatever currency you're using. But all the effort, all the engineering resources are going into three vehicles: the semi-truck, the Cybertruck, and the Roadster. So the idea of a Boring Co specific vehicle is a very low priority for Tesla. Now, obviously, Elon Musk is thinking about it, but they've got to make money, and they've got to increase production, and they've got to increase battery production. The focus has been on re-engineering how a battery is manufactured, how the materials for batteries are sourced. So Tesla is spinning a lot of plates, and the Boring Company plate, as it were, is still on the table. It's not even spinning. It does greatly harm the Boring Company's development, because what the Boring Company needs is it needs specific vehicles that work brilliantly for the specific needs of the Boring Company. And that might not be one vehicle, it might be two vehicles, maybe even three vehicles of different sizes and different layouts. But there's no emphasis going there from Tesla or the Boeing company at the moment. They're kind of just focusing on their own thing. So the Boeing company's focused on building the Las Vegas project, and Tesla focusing on their vehicles and not really giving much emphasis to the Boeing company. So by using Model 3s, it really hurts the efficiency of the tunnels because you can't get as many people in a vehicle, so you have to use more vehicles, which means it's not quite as efficient in terms of power consumption and also the usage of space in the tunnels, and passenger comfort will be mediocre at best because people are having to sit very close together in seats that are not really designed for mass transit. It's not. I mean, it works. No doubt, it will work, and it will hit those goals at Las Vegas in terms of 4,200 passengers per hour. But it's just very tight and confined, and not as comfortable as it could be. So that's enough talking about the problem, which I'm constantly thinking about. But how do you actually resolve this? I can think of three ways to do it. One of them is an absolute no-no that will never happen, but I'm going to tell you about it because if I didn't tell you about it, I wouldn't tell you about how I'm thinking about this particular problem, because you should never take a solution off the table if it could work. You should always look at all the options. So, the resolution. What do I think is going to happen? Well, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to continue to bang on about this. Other people are going to be a lot more patient than I am, as patience is a virtue, and we're going to get a vehicle eventually from Tesla, but it's going to come a long time in the future, and then those vehicles are going to be added to existing systems that the Boeing company has built out. So Las Vegas, the two extensions in Las Vegas, Washington to Baltimore, and probably the project in California going to Ontario Airport there to Rancho Cucamonga. So, Elon Musk and Steve Disher are well aware of this issue and the need for a specific Boeing company autonomous electric vehicle, AEV, when time allows. And trust me, there is going to be a point in the future when there is time to do this. It's probably at the very minimum 18 months away when they can actually start thinking about this seriously. Probably more like 2.5 years away. Tesla will develop a minibus/van. So it will be a platform on which you have a minibus, which you have possibly a delivery van similar to what Rivian is doing with Amazon, and possibly also some kind of flatbed van for construction workers. Hopefully Tesla develops something like that in the future. Now, the Cybertruck is quite useful for the construction industry. However, the actual bed at the back, you need something bigger. So I'd imagine it would be a much bigger platform. A lot bigger than a Ford F-250, for example. A lot bigger, like 15-20% bigger. So, could be 3 to 6 years away from production. I think 3 years is a tad optimistic. More like 5 if I was going to predict it. Would incorporate the incredibly advanced 4680 cells. The 4680 cells are an absolute game changer because in every possible metric, those cells make running a mass transit system using battery powered vehicles easy. Don't listen to people on Twitter who are telling you that battery powered vehicles can't be used for mass transit. These people are rail shills and they have no idea what's going on in the battery world or even autonomous electric vehicles. Please believe me, in the next 1 to 2 years, we're going to see batteries absolutely dominate every possible field. Would seat 12 to 16 passengers comfortably? I think it's better to go for a 12 passenger system, maybe even 10 passenger system. It doesn't need to be that much bigger than the Model X in terms of length and width. It just needs to be able to seat, 12, 14, 16 passengers, maybe even just 10 comfortably. Nice big seats, lots of leg room. Okay, that's what I think is going to happen. But what potentially could be done to get this done quicker, rather than waiting on Tesla, why not develop an autonomous electric vehicle with a third party? Now, I know a few people are going to write in the comments that this is just an absolute brain dead suggestion, and to some extent I do actually agree, but I'd rather talk about this potential option. Let me just get this up there. Number 2, extremely unlikely to happen. I agree. Why would the Boring Company work with anyone else other than Tesla? I don't think it's going to happen. There's a 1% chance it could happen. But there are other people. NIO, Arrival especially. Arrival are a company that is developing a lot of platforms. But again, they're very time constrained, production constrained. BYD, Rivian, XPeng, Tata, who obviously own Jaguar Land Rover, they have some existing platforms that could be used. Why not bring in a partner, tell them, I want a vehicle that's going to be used for mass transit. I want a vehicle that has a range of 280 miles minimum. I want a vehicle that can achieve 160 miles per hour. I want a vehicle with a drag coefficient of 0.23. Yeah? And I want lots and lots of space for seats and luggage and various other things. So it'd be the perfect vehicle fit for purpose. And they would do that. They would absolutely, want to do that, because if they could get in there and potentially build up a relationship with the Boring Company and maybe even Tesla as well, who knows, they could maybe get access to the 4680 cells in the future. Could be possible to manufacture A-EVs in 2 to 4 years. I think it's very possible 2 to 3 years if you work with the right party. Someone like BYD or XPeng or someone like that with connections in China, maybe another Chinese startup, NIO, could easily do this very quickly if they were given the funding, and maybe they could use an existing vehicle platform to do it. I think they work very, very quickly. So they could have something that's fit for purpose in the hands of the Boring Company in 2 years. And, this is the kicker, could incorporate Tesla's autonomous systems as a bolt-on. So all the cameras are built into the car. The car arrives from China to the United States of America, gets off, it goes into a small factory, less than 100,000 square feet. They install the autonomous systems, they test it, they calibrate it, run it around, and then boom, it is dropped into the Las Vegas loop. And Tesla would be happy with that because they've got the control there. They can add things on as and when they need it. So, again, similar to the Tesla one, would seat 10 to 16 passengers. I would like to see it seat 10. I think 10 is the perfect number. Not too big, not too small. That gives you enough density to run the systems, with the throughput needed to make good profit margins to return the investment on building the tunnels. And again, so the advantage of doing this is speed, and you get a vehicle that's perfect for your use case, but you would have to ultimately work with a rival. Although technically for the Boring Company, these are not rivals, they could just be partners. And there's nothing stopping you using a system developed by BYD or Rivian or Tata, and then in 3 or 4 years, 5 years, say, thank you very much, goodbye, and you go and take Tesla's system and you use that forever. Option number 3. This is my preferred option. I think this is the best way to do it. Develop an autonomous electric vehicle in-house. Now, I'm not saying go to the drawing board and just build something from scratch, absolutely re-engineer everything. That would take too long. It would take longer than even waiting for Tesla. But why not take an existing platform architecture, for example, the Model X or the Cybertruck? I'm presuming the Cybertruck is going to be available to purchase at some point in the next 18 months. So obviously the skateboard, in terms of the architecture, is ready and able to be used. That could be slightly modified. Then you drop a new body on top. That is not going to be difficult. That is relatively easy. That the work to design that could be done in under 18 months quite easily. And it'd just be a case of Tesla does the hard work, it installs the motors and the batteries and produces the skateboard. It rolls off the production line straight onto a semi-truck. That semi-truck takes it to your facility, and then you build the remainder of the vehicle, the easy bit, on top of that skateboard. I think that's the best way forward. Please tell me in the comments below if you think that is the best way to get something that is going to be really useful to the Boeing company and get it done quickly without serious capital being invested in the process. So you can set up a low volume manufacturing line in California and Nevada. You might even be able to do it without a paint shop if you adopt some kind of system that doesn't require painting of the actual body. There's plenty of room for maybe a tent style facility in Nevada. Maybe they could acquire a manufacturing, maybe even just a general warehouse facility and adapt it in California. Could be possible in 1 to 2 years' time. I strongly believe with the Model X skateboard, which is a good platform. It's probably going to be adapted anyway for the 4680 cells. I know no one's really said that yet, but I think the Model X will be adapted for the 4680 cells. It's a great vehicle. While that's ongoing, the Boeing company could be designing the body to sit on that skateboard, and that all could be done before, January 2024, well before that. Would be fully autonomous and cost effective to build in large volume. So we would still use Tesla's autonomous software and camera system and vision system, and it would be able to be built in large volumes because that skateboard is going to be built in large volumes to sell the Model X. So you're just pulling off a percentage of that and utilizing it for the Boeing company so they can build a specific mass transit vehicle with lots and lots of seats. I think it'll be in the range of 6 to 10 passengers. Hopefully it'll be closer to 10. I'm not sure how long the Cybertruck is. It is pretty long. I'm fairly confident it would be able to accommodate at the very least 9 passengers. Obviously, if you're going to be building it from scratch, you'd have something that was maybe 10 to 15% longer than the Cybertruck. But I still think even 8, 9, 10 passengers is perfect for the Boeing company, and you can still get really, really good throughput through the system, even with that kind of number of seats. So all in all, I think that is the best option. Obviously, I'd love it if Tesla had more time available to develop a specific vehicle, and there's no reason that couldn't happen in the long term. So if Tesla wants to move more people to sustainable energy, it needs to think about couriers, it needs to think about the construction industry, and also it needs to think about people that have vehicles, maybe moving people around, moving things in between warehouses. You need some kind of vehicle that's capable of moving heavy loads but is not excessively large. So something like this vehicle down here, something similar to that, and then that could be adapted for a minibus for the Boeing company. Okay, so what is the summary? There's no easy answers. We're still stuck in this current situation where we're having to use existing Tesla vehicles because everyone is too busy. Ultimately, when you are making compromises such as this, the quality of the product that you end up producing, or the service that you offer in the case of the Boeing company, is going to be, just okay or average. It's not going to be exceptional. To achieve exceptional, you need a vehicle that's going to be fit for purpose. I love using that word. Current Tesla vehicles are not fit for purpose as mass transit. It's okay if you're like me and you're driving to the shops, and occasionally, you're driving to talk to someone about a business opportunity, or you're driving up and down the motorway to go and collect something. But in terms of actually running as a mass transit system, you need a vehicle that is fit for purpose, because remember, that vehicle is doing excessively long mileages per day. So you need to engineer that vehicle to be able to cope with that without excessive maintenance. So you need a vehicle that is going to do what you need it to do without failure, and also do that efficiently. And to get efficiency, you need more seats per vehicle. You don't just add more vehicles. You need less vehicles but bigger vehicles to an extent. Obviously, if you had a vehicle that seats 20 passengers, it's getting a bit excessively large. But if you've got a vehicle that holds exactly 14 passengers, that is the perfect sweet spot for the Boring Company, and you can still offer personalised mass transit. Okay, brilliant. Thank you so much for everyone who's watched the video. Appreciate that. Please like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. So many new people joining this channel. Really appreciate you all coming and supporting us. And join me on Discord if you'd like to talk to me about a specific topic. And there's lots of interesting people on our Discord. Twitter and Instagram as well. I'm very active on those platforms. I appreciate some feedback, so write it in the comments below. Thank you so much to all our Patreons. You help support this channel. You help me produce content. You are helping me further improve this channel with your amazing ideas. Thank you so much. You know who you are. Your names are on the screen. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, and thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe as always, and thank you for commenting. We do very much appreciate that. And remember, guys, don't be boring. See you on the next one. Have a great time. Goodbye.